This episode is sponsored by Duramat Interlocking Floor Tiles. I'm Jonny Smith.
I'm Richard Porter.
And this is Smith & Sniff, a podcast in which two friends talk about cars and many other things. It's time for some WWWs. I've seen a few this last few days as the sun has disappeared a little bit. We some people would call them gilets, but alas, I'm reluctant to call them gilets. I much prefer to call them winter wealth waistcoats, the WWWs.
Aha!
Because
yes.
We've had this conversation before on previous casts. I'm a huge fan of the body warmer, Rich, but I'm not a fan of the gilet, and there is a difference, and I will fight that.
There is a difference.
I'll fight that till I die.
No one ever said, hey, look at Marty McFly in his cool 80s gilet. That's a body warmer.
Exactly. I always have to use the Marty analogy. It's so true. So that's a body warmer, and I own at least two. I don't own any gilets. I got given one once on a launch, and I gave it away to somebody.
Did you?
I did.
Now, a launch for what?
A launch gilet. I'm pretty sure it was Renault or Alpine emblazoned. Oh no, I actually got. I think I gave that away as well. When I did the Mille Miglia, I got given a commemorative WWW.
Of course.
And it has a map of the actual race on the back of it, I think.
Oh, no.
With some intricate quilting. Yes.
No. That's...
Yes.
Immediately, that's a crime. I'm ringing the police. I can't be dealing with that. But also, at the Mille, for heaven's sake, giving out a gilet, surely every other person they attempted to give it to, they'd go, no, I've already got one. In fact, I have 17 gilets.
Well, maybe...
I sleep in a gilet because I'm minted.
Is it part of the safety protocol? You have to double gilet it.
Yes,
just
fireproof gilet. Yeah. My arms, but my torso is safe.
We did some high altitude work on the Mille Miglia. Maybe when you start climbing, you're advised by the officials to double gilet.
So the Welsh gilet, you see, in terms of car makers that would give you one of their events, I would say Land Rover, obviously.
Land Rover, most certainly.
Jeep, possibly, but that really is probably closer to a body warmer.
I was going to say, I think Jeep people would probably go for the body warmer. And that means I'm more of a Jeep guy, which I'm actually okay with, I think. I think I'm all right with that. Unless you gave me, what was that dog's mess Jeep that we often laugh about? Is it the Compass? It just looked, it was very bloated body over small wheels.
Yes. There's also, do you remember the Commander, which was, I think, more of a Discovery rival, because I think it had 7 seats and was famously absolute dog plop to the extent Sergio Marchionne,
he just said, this famously, is rubbish.
Well, he said, the actual quote, perhaps translated from Italian, I don't know, was, this vehicle is unfit for human consumption. And it was deleted quite soon afterwards.
Just amazing, right?
Yeah, so I would say also perhaps a Bentley gilet. That would be a feasible thing.
Yeah, that could be. I could see that with the diamond stitch. But the diamond stitch would be better than all the other diamond stitch gilets available.
Oh, it'd be lovely.
Wouldn't it?
And I think there'd be... You could they incorporate those chrome organ stop pull-out vent controls from the dashboard of Bentleys in some way?
Oh, in the buttons, the poppers.
Oh, the buttons, yeah. But it might look like you just got, very erect nipples or something if it was on the breast pockets. But it's worth experimenting with if the Bentley clothing department is listening. Also, though, I sort of wonder if, I mean, it feels a bit, like a newcomer trying too hard. But I could picture a Lexus gilet.
Oh my gosh. It would be so...
Very well made.
It would be so thin, but utterly wind resistant. You'd put it on thinking this was going to be useless. What's this for?
Yeah.
And it would end up being your go-to piece of clothing. You've never worn anything like it.
I could see it.
To this day, you still don't know what material they've used. It's top. It's £6,000 a square metre of this fabric.
I've never, well, not since I was a kid, I have never owned a body warmer or a gilet because I slightly struggle to see the point.
Yes, I know what you mean, and I can relate. So I wore my body warmer. I wore one, a cheeky one, day before yesterday. First one of the season, and it's really, when I present on camera, I realise that sometimes when you're trying to mix up an outfit or you drive, I quite like driving bare-armed in a car, but you need a bit of warmth in the torso. I know this sounds wanky. Right. I'm aware of this sounding really wanky, but it works. T-shirt, good body warmer over the top, and obviously trousers and not Crocs. And it's a really nice driving ratio of clothing.
Yeah,
on the body.
You're right, because I don't like driving in winter in a heavy coat because it restricts your arm movement.
Yeah. And we used to get bollocked on the television for wearing those sorts of coats, like my big Rab coat that is quite rustly because it's polyester.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And so your arms were sawing on the steering wheel and it's chafing on your armpit area, and the microphone hates it. So I realised that wearing a body warmer, I could do winter filming, getting in and out of cars, but it not be annoying on the audio. So there is slight method to the madness here.
I get that. And I suppose a lot of your body heat is within your torso because that's where all the mechanical parts are, if you like. But it's still
all the main ancillaries.
The main ancillaries, yeah. But that's the thing is that I just feel, why would you not want your arms to be warm? And also, if it rains, you're just going to have wet arms.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to have. Yeah.
But I suppose that the gilet is mostly there for warmth and not waterproofness.
It's. Do you know what? It doesn't feel quite so bad when you've got a hat on as well. Hat on, body warmer on, t-shirt, or even thermal t-shirt on underneath. I've done that as well. Honestly, It doesn't look right to the outside world, but it feels right. So I'm going to go with it.
But to your original point, we are definitely now in gilet season.
Look, guys, just got back from the Goodwood Revival, or the Goodwood Revival, as my brother calls it, and the with endearment, I should add. And I saw, the weather was quite challenging, but I did see an abundance of winter waistcoats there.
Yes.
Because there was fancy dress, but also that you can dress for fancy dress, but if the weather just suddenly turns really evil, you might not have all the right winter/rain resistant clothing from the 1960s or 50s.
Yeah.
So you tend to just go, what else have we got in the house? Quick, take that.
Yes. And did they have a North Face technical jacket in the 60s? No. Oh, fuck it. I'm putting it on anyway.
No, can you imagine? Because everyone smoked in the 60s, and I'd put on this technical jacket and it would shrink around me and I'd have severe burns.
Yeah.
and it just wouldn't work, would it?
No, that's not going to work at all. So how was the revival for you?
The Goodwood Revival was exceptional. The weather was no doubt challenging. It was quite stormy and angry, and got to be honest, I got off on the wrong foot by missing the campsite curfew by 20 minutes in my borrowed Volkswagen Grand California. I didn't know the campsite had a curfew.
What time was the curfew?
10 p.m. No moving vehicle in or out. Zero moving vehicles. And full stop. End of. As I don't know, slightly angry women on chat shows often say.
Yes.
I always think.
Or also
end of.
Simples.
Yeah, exactly.
No moving vehicles after 10 p.m. Love. Simples. So this meant what?
This meant that. So, just to rewind slightly, first revival I've ever taken my children to. wanted to do the full weekend for the full experience. Kindly got borrowed a Volkswagen California because of VW's 75th anniversary of the Transporter. So I was taking part in the parade, driving all 30 horsepower and reduction boxes of a very early Type 2. And it was my daughter's 16th birthday at Goodwood on the Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So I got down, as soon as they finished school on Friday, I just threw them into the car in the pre-packed van and stormed down to Goodwood, which is flipping miles away, not knowing that there was a campsite bloody curfew. I had a bit of a sense of humour failure after a very long journey and obviously a lot of stress of packing up a van and having a teenage daughter. She's 16. She's 16, Rich. In 1 year, she's going to be driving, for goodness sake.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Terrifying. So it's a big deal for her. It's her birthday. So she got quite upset. Anyway, we had to just drive into the corner by the entrance and pitch up next to a generator and all the security lights and just get the duvets out and just go to sleep and pretend that everything's all right. And then pitch up early the next morning, where we got stuck. So her birthday morning, she got woken up when the back doors of the van got opened by a lovely but random 4x4 response rescue guy from Sussex, who came to my rescue in a Mitsubishi Shogun short wheelbase. Was it 2.8 turbo intercooler? Little two-door thing. And he was looking for the towing eye because we couldn't find where the towing eye was, and that's what we opened the back door, and she was still asleep. So I'd driven with the kids still in bed across the campsite as soon as the clock struck 7, basically in my pants, and then got stuck because the mud was biblical, and it's front wheel drive. So I got as far as we could, but then ran out of momentum. Then had to be tugged into place. And then we set up and everything was fine. But yeah, so it was
Good.
I let the tyres down after that, and I did get out the car park on the Sunday under my own steam, going absolutely flat out with 8 psi on the front tyres of a very large camper. And it worked. So I was very pleased with myself after that. But yeah, lots of things happened at the revival. Highlights. First things first. I think, and I'm going to apologise to him if it was him, I think I was stood right next to Dave Richards for about half an hour. And the original Lionhead.
Lion-headed
Motorsport guy.
Yeah. Motorsport's leading lion, definitely.
And I would have really loved to have chatted to him because I've never had a conversation with the OG Lionhead. But he was wearing some retrospective sunglasses that completely masked his face. I couldn't quite tell if it was him, and I stared at him a few times, even though he was right next to me. And he wasn't even chatting to many people. I was with my kids watching the racing, and he was watching the racing, and I feel like it was him, and I'm annoyed with myself. I should have just gone, "Excuse me, are you Dave Richards?" And he would have gone, "Yes." And I could have gone, "Hey, I went on the Land's End trial, and you were in that Mayor Manx buggy, and it was good fun, wasn't it?" But
you had some chatting topics.
Yeah, I did. I know, but I kind of got like famous person stage fright, so I didn't.
He's got some slightly camtail hair as well, hasn't he? That would be another giveaway.
Yeah, well, it's quite yachty because it goes.
Yeah, it's definitely yachty.
It goes back all the way back from the front. It's slicked back, but then it has, like they say, the sort of the Wealth camtail going on.
Just a little, just for the aero, really.
It was
well flick up, but imagine how many gilets Dave Richards owns.
Oh, all of anything affiliated with any sponsor. Yeah. Oh gosh, there's so many motorsport events, complimentary gilet. Yeah. Gosh, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. There's quite a gilet collection there.
Yeah, so definitely.
So the original Motorsport Lionhead, I was within 2 feet of for ages, and I didn't say anything. I felt awful. So if somebody knows Dave Richards, can you just say, "Look, I think it was you, Dave. You're wearing these seriously big Carrera sunglasses, and I just couldn't tell if it was you, but I would have loved to have had a chat. So sorry." Also, there was a VE Day celebration on track on one of the mornings at Goodwood. You know, they do like a start line celebration before the racing.
Yeah.
Or a parade. So one of the times was the track parade with the VW vans. There was like 150 of them. And I went out in the 6-volt, 30
What did that
volt.
sound like? That much puttering in one place?
Oh, it was so much putting. So much putting. And it reminded me that the reduction gearbox, crash first and second, 30 horsepower VW bus is quite a challenge to get something out of. And shifting third to fourth when it's not ready is just, I've never experienced bogging like it. I totally forgot about the boggery of it all. It was so boggy.
I was going to say, but is first, I always imagine that first is quite short in case there's lots of people or things on board.
Yeah, first is almost too short, unladen.
So you rev it out, but realise you're doing 3 miles an hour as it approaches the red line.
Yeah. I was going around the track at 23 miles an hour in third. And I thought, I'll snick fourth. And I snuck fourth, and it just bogged to the point where I thought it was going to stall. So I had to go back into third. And I was
You're having to double D all these as well because it hasn't got proper synchro on it.
Oh, yeah.
Or has it?
No, it doesn't. No. So double Ding, and I had the kids with me. And this is their first lap of Goodwood, which they've obviously seen cars going around flat out. I am seesawing away at this huge steering wheel because, of course, the steering box on a Type 2 is vague AF.
Yeah.
And this was an early barn door van, so pre-1955, the first generation.
Okay.
So it's like driving around in a small prison because it was the delivery van and not the microbus. There's no windows. Yeah. It was so just couldn't see anything.
So what? Your kids are in the back of this
they're
hellish, puttering, stalling tomb.
We're on the bench seat. There's 3 abreast on the bench.
Oh, okay, right.
I had to keep pushing Wesson's legs out of the way so I could try and grab the right gear with this like almighty 4-foot wand. Steering. If anyone's ever shifted gears in a VW Type 2, because the linkage, the gearbox is at the back, of course, where the engine is, which was the joy of the packaging of it. It just means that the linkage from where your hand is shifting the lever to the gearbox is so far away. It feels like it's connected by, I don't know, 6 flamingos' legs cable tied together. It's just awful. So,
were there like celebrities, like racing drivers, in this multi-bus run around the track?
Didn't see any celebrities in the multi-bus procession, but I saw Jenson Button actually pacing around on the phone.
Oh yeah,
before a race,
probably on the talking to his trouser people.
Well, have you heard the news?
No,
he's selling jackets now.
What?
Yes.
Not wait. Jackets or gilets?
Oh gosh, I haven't. Jenson's gilets would be an amazing one. I'm sure it's a Jenson Button jacket.
Oh my god!
And
I'm going to have to look this up.
Well, I'm looking at it now.
There's actually a company, isn't there? I never remember their name, and I also feel like we sort of inadvertently give them so much publicity witut saying the name.
Les Strange.
That's it. Yes, Les Strange. All right, mate. Les Strange. Yeah. But no, the gilet Button is a.
He
Sorry, I've got distracted now. Look at this. The reason I was wondering is I thought if they'd put some racing drivers into VW buses, there may have been shenanigans. You know, if Plato was back there and Caroon and whoever else, Matt Neal or something, that they'd all start like trying to jockey for position.
Oh, they'd be chafing,
at 17
wouldn't
miles an hour. Yeah, there might be a bit of rubbing.
There would. There absolutely would. Well, I mean, you see a few Type 2s in the paddock, like as support, like period spec support vehicles. There's a few. Yeah. There was one on the Porsche Classic stand, which I did have a peruse around, and they had a split bus that had Porsche parts service, which I think they used to genuinely use in period to deliver parts. Because last time I checked, Porsche don't make a van, which is almost a shame, isn't it?
Have you ever seen that mock-up? A few years ago, only sort of like 3 or 4 years ago, they released pictures of a load of styling exercises they'd done in the last sort of 10 years, I suppose, including a really sweet little sort of sub-Boxster Roadster and all sorts of things, and some great stuff, but including a van. I don't know why they'd done it, just for fun, but they'd also painted it up like those Porsche race support VW buses from the 50s and 60s. So the red.
Yes, right.
The red with Rennsport written down the side.
Exactly.
They've done it like that. I'll stick a picture of this one on the Patreon, but it looked mega, absolutely mega. I mean, obviously, it's like so far off brand for Porsche as they stand, really. It
does, but everyone's on this quest for luxury, and the amount of money people spend on T6 vans and Mercedes V classes, Vitos, it does make you wonder whether they've got their eye on that and they've gone, well, with that and people buying ultra posh pickup trucks, someone would buy it, wouldn't they? If Porsche did a van that was just like so good.
It's the difference between someone would buy it and would enough people buy it to justify. You'd have to sort of pair it with some VW group bits, wouldn't you? Just to but yeah,
you could tug your race car to the track with it and put the awning out.
Yes.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
But if you look at the experience of Mercedes, they put their toe into the pickup truck water, didn't they, with the X-Class, and it tanked and they deleted it really quickly.
Yeah. Is it because they did a shit job though, Rich?
It's just not. I think because when it comes to functional things, an awful lot of the market for functional vehicles like pickups and vans, it's just all about the bottom line. You don't spend more than you need to because it's going through your business.
Yeah. I'm looking at Jenson's jackets.
I'm just looking at Jenson's jacket here. Look, the bomber jackets.
Yeah.
There's a bomber jacket and there's a
360
quite low.
It's a 360 jacket.
As opposed to what? Like a 180 jacket where it's got no back.
I do.
Well, that's no good, is it?
Jensen's backless jackets. I'd love that. Is that like what's that? Sort of like a backless dress on the red carpet that a lady might wear?
Yeah. But I don't know anyone who wants a backless jacket. You'd have to reverse out of the room if you didn't want people to laugh at you. But anyway, that's not what he makes. These, I've got to say, I quite like the look of these trousers.
I like the look of the hydro wool bomber jacket because Jenson's quoted saying, a super slick piece. I love how this feels, especially when you put it on, and the discreet waterproof protection. That's
discreet waterproof protection, as if it would look incredibly rude to have a visibly waterproof jacket.
I like that. Jensen? I kind of like that. It's a very dad, slightly Alan Partridge quote, isn't it? I like that.
It's discreetly waterproof, Lynn.
So curfews at the Goodwood Revival, Grand California getting stuck, and they're not getting stuck. Maybe it was Dave Richards, maybe it wasn't. The racing was, as usual, incredible, but the changeable weather made it even more dicey.
Oh, yes.
There was some terrific downpours and gusts of wind. So some really good driving. But probably two highlights. One was, at the start of, before one of the races, there was a VE day celebration, like a street party reenactment,
right? As
if it would have been 1945, and it was lovely to watch on the track, and all these people obviously dressed up in the regalia with bunting and tea and biscuits on tables,
right?
But there was a chap playing the saxophone as in the band who were part of this celebration, and genuinely. When I was watching it on the big TV, I thought it was a fat Gordon Murray.
Oh my God.
He looked from a certain angle, it was like, that's Gordon Murray. I didn't know he could play the saxophone. And then he turned a bit and was like, oh no, it's a guy that's a bit tubbier than Gordon Murray, but could be Gordon Murray, I think, from certain angles, and definitely playing the saxophone. So for a second, I thought Gordon Murray was just going to casually tell me that, oh yeah, by the way, I kind of play the saxophone as well, and I've been asked to play it in jazz bands several times because I'm at a high level.
God, I would love it if Gordon Murray played the saxophone, just because it's kind of you could see it. I mean, I can picture it. I didn't see this that you saw, but I can totally picture it.
Can you imagine if we found out that Gordon Murray did the saxophone work in Baker Street?
Everyone spreads around that urban myth that it was Bob Holness, but really it was Gordon.
Can you imagine if it was Gordon? You know that. And you'd go, I can see that. If I close my eyes, he'd have braces on and really billowing trousers, and it would really work for me. He'd be tilting it to the sky, wouldn't he?
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely.
He'd have a sort of velocity stack end piece that no one's ever seen before that he made himself.
Would Gordon Murray, though, is the saxophone light enough for him?
I keep forgetting.
I'm thinking the flute. The flute is lighter than the saxophone.
Well,
and easier to package within the interior of a car.
The flute is. Obviously, you play it side saddle.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite difficult to look cool doing.
Are there not flutes you can play longitudinally rather than the transverse flute of James Last?
Of course, it's transverse,
isn't it?
versus longitudinal flutage.
Which is good packaging.
Yes.
If you were, in a tight space.
Yeah. You were fluting in a pub back room.
Exactly. You don't want to poke someone in the eye at the next table. But,
no.
But with the transverse flute, maybe you don't have to. Although you could then just accidentally jab the drummer in the ear or so. It depends where you're sitting.
Imagine if you were in one of the left or right hand seats of a T50, and and there was some serious track work going on, but you wanted to play well because the driver had asked you to serenade them.
Yes.
To compliment the NAV12, of course. And
yeah.
But you couldn't. You'd have to go transverse flute in that instance because you smash the windscreen out if you weren't careful.
Exactly. But if you think about it, the T50 and the F1, they have that sort of the lower section of the window is the bit that drops.
Oh, the window within the window.
Perfect for just sliding a flute out.
Yeah. It's a fluty glory hole.
That's why it's got the central driving position, because then your onboard flautist can always be... It doesn't matter about left and right-hand drive.
No.
You can always pop a flautist in the correct side for whichever way round they play the flute. I assume mostly it's all just done the same way, because otherwise you'd have to re-engine. I don't know.
That's global. Anyway, that's global flute compatibility. That is.
It's exactly your flute compliant in all markets.
Which it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Well, maybe you see Gordon Murray sometimes. Don't you film with him? If you see him again, just find out which.
I'll ask him about his flute compliance and whether he just happens to be good at the saxophone and he hasn't told anybody.
Does Gordon Murray not play guitar?
Genuinely?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm thinking about Damon Hill in the 90s because he used to go on stage and guitar, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was it when he was with Eddie Jordan, mucking around with Eddie Jordan? I think he used to do stuff on stage in a band.
Holy shit.
What?
I just found a photograph
of Gordon Murray.
George Harrison out of the Beatles.
Yes.
With Gordon Murray. Now, we know they're mates. In fact, I think the story is that when the F1 project was looking a bit touch and go because of needing to raise the funds, I think the story is that George Harrison agreed to sort of put up the money for the car he would eventually receive if that would get the project across the line to continue developing it.
Oh, wow.
George Harrison is pretty pivotal in the F1 story.
Yeah.
And there's this photo of Gordon Murray playing a very small, what are those very sort of pointy guitars that they seem to be popular probably in the 70s.
What, a Gibson Flying V?
It's not a Flying V.
Oh.
It's more sort of like a four-pointed star shape almost. But it's very small. It looks like a child's version of it. It's red. Gordon, again, I'll put this picture on the Patreon, but Gordon Murray is playing that.
Is that Gordon Murray?
Well,
I don't know. That's one of the Chuckle Brothers. Is it?
You're being moustache racist there. You think all men with moustaches. This is from George Harrison's official Facebook page. And it just says, "Happy birthday, Gordon Murray."
Right, okay.
This is from 5 years ago. Jonny, did you like my last jingle for Duramat interlocking floor tiles, the sponsors of this podcast?
Not really. You forgot to mention that you can have Duramat tiles in a huge range of colours, and you never said that you can have the tiles etch printed with absolutely any logo or design that you like. And you should have reminded our listeners that they can get 10% off their order of easy-to-install tiles by visiting duramat.co.uk and using the code SSG10 at checkout.
Oh, OK. Let me have another go.
Duramat. Whatever colours in your mind. Duramat. Can be etched with your design. Duramat. Don't forget our discount code. Duramat. Britain's largest amphibian is the toad.
Was that last bit just to make it rhyme?
Yeah, sorry.
Visit duramat.co.uk to find out more about high-quality floor tiles for your garage or your workshop. So that was highlight number 1, the Gordon Murray, not Gordon Murray saxophonist. Highlight 2 of the Goodwood Revival for me was I got to meet, I'm going to use the word legendary because I think it's valid here, legendary DJ Carl Cox.
Did you?
Yeah, he invited me over to see his the unveiling of his Resto Mod 911.
Oh.
And we had the greatest chat about the car, but also just about other cars and him. He is the chattiest, nicest guy. What a delight it was to meet him. So I went over to the Renssport stand, which is like a UK Porsche Resto Mod company, who built this car for Carl. They tugged the cloths off it, and it was white, like toothpaste fresh white pearl and silver two-tone, which doesn't sound like it would work, but I think it really does. And serious power, 450 horsepower, 4.1 naturally aspirated air-cooled 6. No traction control or any of those guardian angels, and semi-active dampers, loads and loads, as you'd expect, of detail. It's a real raw driver's car, but with beautiful stitching and nice seats and things. And had these map pockets in the doors that were more like satchels, which I really liked. They looked like they could be record bags. I quite like them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really beautiful.
Is this built around a more modern 911 than it appears, or is this a legit?
This was a legit
old
G-body, 89.
Oh, right.
So
and still looks like an 89 car.
Yes, it does. Yeah, and so it's got a wider body and it's got some extra inlets and louvers and gills here and there, as you'd expect on a Resto Mod. But so I started to talk to Carl after having a look at the car. And, I mean, Carl's got, you probably know this, we've talked about him before, he's got a lot of cars and bikes. He says he's got 50.
We saw his lovely 80s Alpina 3 Series at Goodwood Festival Speed, didn't we? And
yeah.
That was delightful.
That car was incredible. So he's got amazing car taste, that we know. And he's ridden motorbikes for a long time. He supports a couple of TT riders on the Isle of Man. And he also runs, now he told me, it's 3 drag cars.
Really?
Yeah, he drives a pro-modified drag car, so he's quite serious about this stuff. He's not hanging around.
He's in his 60s now, isn't he?
He is. I looked him up afterwards because he doesn't look like he's in his 60s. He's one of these guys that seemingly hasn't aged for the last 20 years.
No,
but he's 62.
That's the thing, isn't it? He just sort of looks the way that you always imagine he looked in the kind of 90s heyday of superstar DJs.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this, you're not sure who Carl Cox is, look him up. I mean, he is one of the founding fathers of house music, hardcore, from the really illegal days of rave. And he's seemingly ridden the wave and stayed at the forefront of it, right up to the Ibiza glitz.
Yeah.
Which not many of them have done.
I've heard before, though, that he's a really nice, decent guy, and I think perhaps that's part of the secret of his success is that he's not a knob.
I hope so, Rich, because
form is temporary, class is permanent, and all that.
Yeah, he seemed so enthusiastic. But the last thing, this is why I brought it up, besides the 911, the Renssport 911, which was delightful, the last thing I'd expect Carl Cox to say to me was, I used to have an Austin Maxi. And he used to have a Maxi which he drove to do wedding discos. That was one of the first things he did. His foot in the door.
Very roomy.
He said it was so roomy. He said I could fit loads of records in it. He said it was 5-speed, quite comfortable. He said I bought it for like 60 quid. And he was really pissed off because somebody either smashed the windscreen or it got cracked on the way between gigs, and he said it was old-fashioned glass where it all just shatters.
Yeah,
it doesn't just hairline crack and stay where it is. and he said the cost of a windscreen was more than the car was worth at the time. So he said, I ended up scrapping it and just getting another cheap car. He said, that's what you did back then. So yeah, Carl Cox, I mean, I just looked at him and couldn't stop laughing. I was like, I can't imagine Carl Cox tooling around in an Austin Maxi. But sure enough, he did. And he had loads of other really great stories about cars and his life as a DJ and going from vinyl to digital. Or he's got his own vinyl library at home. He said he's got over 150,000 pieces of vinyl, which I think is a lot.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's a library.
Was he familiar with the Late Break Show and your work?
Yeah, he was. And it freaked me out completely because when I went over to say hi just before this unveil, he was like, Jonny, it's really good to meet you. I've followed you since the Fifth Gear days. And he regaled like several different things he'd watched me do on TV, and I was like, I kind of had to stop him. I said, Carl, listen, you're Carl Cox, you're a busy, important man. What are you doing watching my crap? And I was a bit weirded out by it, but he was.
That's really cool.
He was nice.
That's the thing. I think
he was nice.
It's probably an age thing for us. If you grew up in a certain era, when DJs suddenly became big stars, like he was up there with the biggest.
He was, absolutely.
So I would regard him as, a proper famous person.
I said, well, look, Carl, I wish I'd brought them now, but he said, I've still got some cassettes from Fantasia 91 and 92. And he went, oh, yeah. He said, Carl, well, probably most of those would have been bootleg back then. But he said we made quite a lot of money during the bootleg thing. When you used to take samples from other records and stuff, but just sell your set before getting clearance for anything. He said those were the good old days. But he had some awesome stories, and he's pinky promised to let me come and film a look round at least one of his garages. And
I was going to ask,
I'd like to have a sit down chat with him.
Yeah.
Because
I'd like
I think he's got lots.
That.
He's got lots to share. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
What a real dude. I was really, really, I mean, it was a great weekend in general, but getting to meet Carl, the Carl Cox, and him being even better than you could imagine and having so much more time than I would have expected. He was a proper gentleman. So thank you to Rensport for inviting me over, and thank you to Carl for giving me lots of your time. And
that's really cool.
SSG, let's just say massive 100-point SSG. Yeah. Sweet DJ guy.
Good to hear.
Yeah, I think so. Do you know what I heard? As I was driving back from Revival, very long journey, obviously, bad weather, tired, getting the kids home and all that stuff, I decided to flick radio stations, do my usual thing. I flicked onto Magic late at night, and I instantly had a couple of ballad classics, but I had Billy Ocean, Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car came through.
Oh, yes.
And I think we've touched on it in the past on this one of these podcasts, but if you say it through gritted teeth, it sounds very kidnappy.
I think it sounds very kidnappy anyway, but get out of my dreams, get into my car.
Yeah, exactly.
If you say it through gritted teeth, though, it sounds like it's just one half of a couple who've had a row at a drinks party, and they're just get out of the street, get into the car, Elaine, come on,
get out.
People are looking. It's not good. It's
out of my dreams.
I think we've talked about this in real life, but the Alone by Heart, which is a tremendous song.
We love that
big
track.
And ridiculous. I love it, but it's particularly if a man sang that, it doesn't sound good.
Also, Billy Ocean seems to be the most smiley, happy man alive. Can't imagine him gritting his teeth and saying that aggressively.
No. He's one of those people who's done when you actually sit and think about it, a high number of very memorable and good songs.
Yeah.
But also, there's a car connection because he used to work in the Ford factory in Dagenham.
That's right.
Before he became an singer. So, yeah, he's probably in parallel because he was trying to get his musical career off the ground. But
I always used to sing "Red light smells danger." So I used to think it was. Is it like the toilet door when it turns to engaged? There's always a red stripe which appeared. So I always think, oh, red light smells danger. It's like someone's in there absolutely depth charging, and you're gonna have to run for your lives.
It says now the danger sign is on.
It won't be Billy, though.
It makes me laugh because I just imagine there's a big sign, like at an Austin Powers movie or so. There's just a big sign that goes, danger, whack, whack, whack. And you go, I don't think I've never seen that in real life. I don't think they have signs that just say danger, but I might be.
It's just like a student house where there's loads of stolen signs lying around.
Yes.
If that's still a thing.
You'd think he'd have gone more specific with that other song, though. Get out of my dreams, get into my Cortina 1.6 GL.
With headrests, so it makes it a bit more comfortable. And someone's going to write in and say the GLS didn't have headrests. It was never optioned with those.
Oh, I think, it depends which year as well, doesn't it? But yes, you're probably right. I'm thinking... I don't actually know when Billy Ocean worked at Dagenham, 60s maybe, but
no, 70s.
He was a recording artist certainly by the mid 70s, wasn't he? So,
and after last week's shocking letter from Alan Gow from off of Real Toker,
yes,
which I'm still getting over. Thanks, Alan. I was singing the song to myself the other day, and I thought to myself, I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight stroker. And I thought, well, is that the allure of a 2 a.m. engine rebuild or something like that?
Right.
Just can't resist going out there and machining up some parts in the shed because you're in a state of insomnia. You're a midnight stroker.
It could be that. Yes, just want to slightly increase the cylinder capacity. Yeah. No, it's
yes, but increase the cylinder capacity before morning because I have to get to work.
You're a vampire that blueprints engines, and so you have to get any machining work done before daybreak, or you'll disappear.
Pre-dawn stroking. Available.
Just make it clear, we've had quite a few messages, I think mostly from American listeners who I think thought we don't know what toker really means in that song. And
as in
it to us, as
heaving on weed?
Marijuana.
Yes.
It's okay, we do know that. We were just being stupid, as is our wont, but thank you for correcting us anyway, because you thought we were stupid Brits who don't know what these things mean. Since we are sort of fringing on the back refs and things like that, I think we have a winner. We would sort of wrap this up, but I think we have a late entry and possible winner in the ridiculous cars driven by students game.
Oh no, really?
From a listener called Harry Bridges. He says, a bit late on this, but when I was at Durham University in the late 2010s, a mate had a purple wrapped Bentley Turbo R.
What?
Yeah, see photo. And Harry has attached a photo, and there indeed is a purple Bentley Turbo R with what appears to be one missing centre cap on the alloys. So it is really purple, like Prince purple. Harry says it certainly stood out in the sports centre car park among the knackered Polos and Clios, but the petrol money was eye-watering for a then student when we drove up and back to St Andrews, even split amongst 4 of us. So,
my gosh, I bet it was horrendous.
Yeah, but that's extraordinary. The photo here shows it sort of parked on quite a narrow street, I guess, in Durham. So that is nuts.
Well, they win then.
I can't think of a sillier student car than that.
I hate to talk about actual car stuff, like modern car stuff. But I don't think we talked about Porsches the other week. It would have been probably 3 weeks ago now. Porsche announcing induction charging for electric cars.
Yes.
And the fact that I know this has been experimented with for a long time. If you think about the electric toothbrush that you might have in your bathroom,
yeah,
the idea of a car just parking over a pad and thus being able to charge wirelessly.
Yeah, and its phones. I mean, all sorts of stuff. I sling my phone on a pad at night now, and it's great.
Yeah. I'd love to be able to eat like that, so I could just lie down on a table and then just get up full
Or just absorb food.
Just having eaten and drunk all the food that I might need for the day. That'd be great.
I don't even know. Because then, surely, because people are always going, oh, bloody hell, Apple are going to delete the charging port on their phones like they did the headphone socket, aren't they? Because they want people to induction charge. Are you suggesting the makers of Johnny Smith could delete your mouth?
Please. Yeah, please.
Might be problematic for the rest of your
podcast career?
Your work. Yeah.
Well,
the induction charging thing is fascinating, and also I saw the diagram they showed. I mean, obviously this is going to have to be wired in, isn't it? You couldn't just plug it into a 3-pin because that wouldn't pull enough juice. But
no,
you'd have it wired in the way you'd have another kind of home charger put in. And so I suppose if you have a regular house, it would pull 7 kilowatts. Would it be able to do that? I didn't read the details. People always go, well, what if your cat goes under the car between the charging pad and the car? But it doesn't kind of work like that, does it?
Well, they're going to be the first car manufacturer to bring they say, an 11 kilowatt charging system with a 1-box base plate. Which
it's 11 kilowatt?
It's 11. So it's a lot, because back in the day, Rich, 2008 to be precise, I went to Japan and drove the precursor to the Nissan Leaf, which I've talked about before, which was a cube mule with all the EV gubbins in, which would have actually been better than a Leaf, but anyway. And they were then showing me some prototypes of induction charging, but what they were trying to work out was whether they could put them all at stoplights and junctions in Tokyo.
Oh.
So that they worked out that if you're waiting at the lights for 2 minutes at a time, and you do, let's say 6 sets of lights on the way to work in urban speed areas, you could perhaps increase your charge by X% on the way to work. So they were never saying it was going to fast charge, but it would just be enough to keep tickling it effortlessly.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? I know this from phones and things, that it is definitely not as fast sticking it on a pad as it is just shoving a wire up its hole. But it doesn't matter if you've got the time to spare overnight. And I think I did read something in this Porsche announcement that they figured out that a really high percentage of their electric vehicle customers just charge overnight at home. So if you could have one of these in your garage, it's just one less thing to faff about with. I just looked this up. Apparently, actually, these, rather than just being sort of low enough voltage that it won't fry your cat, they tend to have a sensor that shuts off if it detects anything going between the pad and the vehicle. So
like a dog
that's
or
how
cat.
You don't end up with a baked pet. But
it's amazing though. They're bringing it in, aren't they, in 2026 next year?
You'll be able to order the new KN Electric, which is coming soon. We saw it wrapped in camouflage at the Goodwood Festival of Speed in the summer, and it's on sale quite soon. And you'll be able to order it with the onboard kit, and then order the pad to
It's
be put into your
kind of
garage.
cool.
Speaking of this, actually, this is a reasonable segue, because I've driven a couple of Porsches in the last month or so, and one of them was a little bit late to the party on this, the new-ish electric Macan.
Ah, have you?
I was sort of intrigued by this. I think I've seen them around now, and I think it's a very nice looking car from the front, as these things go. The back bothers me. It looks like it's got bad posture.
Oh.
I say this to our son because he sort of hunches over. And I do this thing which I realise my parents used to say to me, just go, stand up straight. But the back of the Macan looks like it's just sort of rolled its shoulders forwards, and it's sort of slouching forwards. It's just, it doesn't, the angle is neither one thing nor the other, and I don't know. But otherwise, it was quite a nice looking thing. Interior's pretty good in that sort of contemporary Porsche way. It earns extra points because it's one of those cars where it's very easy to disable the systems that just get on your nerves, like the speed bonger, which I think it was in that car that it was absolutely convinced that the speed limit was 10 miles an hour on a de-restricted road because it's seen as something that said 10. So that needs to be turned off when it does that, and it's a one-button job on a shortcut. And then the lane departure tuggy wheel thing is another, just hold down a hard button. You don't have to go into any touchscreen things. So it's good in that respect. It's a decent car. It's one of those things where it's quite interesting to drive it getting out of my Tesla Model Y, and you realise that Porsche is extremely good at tuning chassis and steerings and stuff like that.
And brake feel, yeah.
It just has a quality and a polish to it, which you suddenly realise that the Porsche, the Tesla is fine, but there's a whiff of amateur hour about it. And I gather these are actually things they've fixed for the latest Model Y, which is the ride is too thumpy and the steering is too quick for a family car. And they've changed both those things, but the Porsche is just, they're judged so much better, and there's a sophistication to the chassis that comes from being Porsche and being good at this stuff for years. But there's also, I think, a big problem with that car, which is that it is incredibly expensive.
What's the boot space like for the size of the vehicle?
It's all right. Yeah,
That's what I thought you were going to say, Richard.
I mean, it's not like absolutely astonishing, but it's fine. Yeah. Why do you ask?
Well, because it's got bigger, as all cars do. It's got bigger than the outgoing car.
Yeah,
I think.
It's not massive.
No, but it's just like it's this annoying cycle that we're in, where things are growing apart from the things you really need. And the things you really need to grow are legroom and boot. And those things don't grow typically on most modern cars, I find.
I
just have a physically bigger car.
This. I don't know if it is much bigger than the outgoing internal combustion Macan. It doesn't feel like a massive car. It's a good size, and it's got plenty of space in it, and space in the back. And it was my daughter's birthday, and I had to give a couple of her friends a lift to the thing we went and did for her birthday celebration. One of her mates, who's 8, as we walked up to it, she went, "Is this a Porsche?" But from the side as well. I was like, that's quite a good spot. We had a mate of ours who's someone of means, because they have a really big job, and they are looking at getting a second car for like mostly local running around and going to the station and stuff like that. And she went, "Oh, that's that new small electric Porsche SUV," and was like surprisingly well informed about it. I went, yeah, it is. She went, "How is it?" I said, yeah, it's all right. And she went, "Yeah, I really, really like the look of those. I was thinking that might be a good option for our second car. How much is it?" Now, this is the inverted commas base model I had, the rear wheel drive one. So it's like 340 horsepower and no motor on the front or anything like that. And
that's the one you want.
Basic. Well, yeah, they often are, aren't they? The basic price of that car before you start putting anything on it is £68,500.
Right.
The one I borrowed,
options are notoriously expensive, aren't they?
The paint had really nice, it's blue metallic, really nice paint, but the paint alone is £1,185. And then, bigger wheels, £1,600, and fancier leather, it's about £1,300, £1,400. And it all starts to add up. Panoramic roof is almost £1,300. It's got all sorts of other bits and pieces on it. So some of which you don't need, like the Porsche crest embossed into the front headrest, £185. You do not need that. But adaptive cruise control I find genuinely useful.
Yes,
and you have to pay just over £500 for that.
I can't believe Porsche don't give that away.
Well,
I'm slightly offended by a car of that calibre.
I know, because you can have it on some pretty basic stuff now. So yes, that is.
Well, my Renault 5's got it.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. Small cars have it, don't they?
25 grand.
Yeah, the total price of the car that I tested was just under £82,000. I mean, even if you go with the base of 68 and a bit, it's a lot.
That's serious.
That's serious. It drives very nicely, and I wonder whether this is because when you take an internal combustion engine out of the equation, you've sort of removed one point of difference.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the last Macan I drove, which was a Macan Turbo, which was fabulous. It was like a big hot hatch, but that's because that's got all manner of trickery on it. The engine wasn't the particularly memorable part. It was the whole car. I don't know what it is about this Macan Electric. It's a nice car, but is it a 68 and a bit grand nice car when there are many other things that would do the job for much less?
And this is the thing, yeah. Well, this is what I always say about, you're trying to... It's the jack of all trades, master of none thing, which I always go back to is like, you want a family car, but you also want a sports car, but you want a thing, and you want a that, and you want a that. But if you've got enough money to buy a car like that, just buy two. Just buy two cars.
Well, I suppose so.
I'm sorry, but I can't get my head around the fact that people want one car that does everything, because you'll just end up with a compromised Swiss Army knife. And I can't be doing with it.
This is one to dig into later. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know, that Macan. One thing I will say, though, is that it is the first time I think I've ever driven a borrowed car and been taken aback to the point that I exclaimed on my own in the car, been taken aback by the windscreen washer jets.
What? Taken aback by the washer jets?
Yeah, I went to wash the screen, and it just, I don't know, I didn't expect this. It's got 6 jets, and they're really sort of quite strong as well. So, expecting like sort of maybe 2, 4, perhaps 4 on a big-ish car. Sort of little squirters to come out of the nodules on the bonnet. No, 6 mighty jets fired towards me. And I went, oh, like that. I just didn't expect it. It was really weird. So, in terms of washer jets, it's absolutely
our
second
podcast
to none.
Saab has got 3, and I was impressed with that.
Has it? We need to.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to have a conversation about the Saab, but probably not while we're recording.
No.
We are running out of time. I did drive another Porsche after the Macan, which was the new 911 GTS. I'll talk about that next week because there's some different things to say about that.
I want to read out a very, very brief message from my brother that he sent me on WhatsApp this morning. It says, "Hey, you taxi rank BJ, your Tesla's sat on the floor like a really high mileage, ruined, abused P38. Is this normal? ? It's because my Tesla's got adaptive suspension. It's one of those models. And after 2 days of it being parked, I think it's 2 days, it assumes the position of sort of sad dog that's cowering in the corner, and it goes all the way down." He called me a taxi rank BJ, by the way, because that's something I actually saw once when I was a young man, having just left home and starting my new job in Chester. And it was a Friday night that I can't unsee these things. So I told my brother the story, and he's, to this day, thinks it's one of the funniest things he's ever heard. So he will always refer to me as that, which is nice.
Someone from another car company once told me that when air suspension cars do that, they refer to it as relax mode.
Oh, is it relax?
Yeah, the car's assumed you're not coming back for a while, and it's just gone,
It's like a guard dog waiting for the next instruction. A sheepdog.
like a sheepdog. Sheepdogs drop to the floor, don't they? When they're waiting to be told what to do next. Yeah.
Talking of which, there were sheep and sheepdogs at the revival on the track for Jim Clark's memorial service.
What?
There were sheep being herded on the start-finish line with sheepdogs around Lotai and other Jim Clark cars like the Lotus Cortina. It was really quite moving.
Oh, I'd have gone just for that.
It was great.
We should try and pull this one into a space. So, before we go, I have 3 things to tell you. They are, firstly, Jonny is engaged in an interesting new project to persuade the former lead singer of Marillion to lead ground-based military actions in a heavily armoured tracked vehicle under the working title Fish Tank. If that's not to your taste, then why not look at the Late Break Show on YouTube? What's happening there?
Oh, Rich, honestly, it gets me every time. This weekend on the Late Break Show, I'm doing a feature on the latest iteration of the brand new old-fashioned Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh,
the one you can't get in the UK, but there is a company which brings them into the UK, and why they, I think, can tow and carry legally more than any other car in GB.
Right.
So there's that. And if you don't like that, then fuck you. You could watch some. You could watch some other things on the channel as well, like the Ford Fairlane 500 barn find factory right and drive, which went out a week or so ago, and all that. Do you know what I mean? And there's lots more coming, Matra Rancho related.
Yes,
etc.
We got an excellent story about Arancho, by the way, which I'll read out next week if I remember. The second thing, well, first of all, thank you to everyone who came last Monday to the Evening With thing at the British Motor Museum with me and Paul Cowland on stage. I had a lovely time, but hopefully people in the audience did too. And on that note, because I talked a lot about Top Gear, why not go and buy my book, And on That Bombshell, about working on Top Gear 2002 to 2015. Still available online in various places and probably in some charity shops as well. And the third thing I want to say is that one of the founding fathers of the United States, Benjamin Franklin, was obsessed with Parmesan cheese. He enjoyed it so much he spent 4 years writing to Parmesan cheesemakers in Italy, trying to persuade them to share with him their recipes so that he could have it made in the United States.
He was that obsessed with it?
Yeah. So, Parmesan cheese took off in the US because of Benjamin Franklin, one of the people who founded the nation, wrote the Constitution, all that sort of stuff.
And I just want to sign off by saying to Magnus Svenningsson, I think that's your correct name, who's a listener to the pod, off of Sweden, off of Scandinavia, keeps convincing me to try and buy a Kalmar DAF Tjorven postal van, which we've talked about before. Yes. He sent me one. I'm not buying it, Magnus, but I did do some more research on it, and I've got a quote from a brochure which was translated for the postal van, and it says, "The ideal car for light order work, well calculated for the task in all respects."
I've seen Magnus's emails to you, and I admire his determination to make you
buy a Swedish postal van with a
not
CVT
this week,
in it.
Magnus, not this week. But maybe next week, who knows? Tune in then. We'll be back next Monday with a regular show, and here on Friday with one of our Q&As. Until then, goodbye.
Spouza.
So you've enjoyed this podcast, but you've had a thought. Is there a way here today that you could show support? Well, you could join our Patreon, what wonders that it brings. Early shows and extra notes on that side of things. You could buy our merchandise, we've mugs and hats but still no ties. One day we will make those pies, but in the meantime, guys, hey guys, like and subscribe, and maybe leave a nice review. Like and subscribe, we know you know just what to do. Like and subscribe, we don't want to take the piss. Like and subscribe, but we were told to ask for this. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Smith & Sniff is sponsored by Duramat. To get 10% off your order of Duramat floor coverings, use code SSG10 at checkout.